Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Simone here. Today I am doing the wonderful Halloween song book tag, which I was tagged by the wonderful creator and the wonderful Nicole from Beautiful Chaos of Books. Nicole is one of my closest friends on BookTube. I absolutely love her. I think she's amazing, and she tagged me in this wonderful book tag, and I always love when Nicole does like original videos and stuff, so when she tagged me in this I was very excited about it. There is a Christmas one as well, which I really loved, so I think the Halloween one is a brilliant idea. I think it's great, and so there is some great Halloween songs. As you can tell, I really dressed up for the occasion. I have this weird hat thing too, but I mentioned, yeah. So anyway, I will be doing a video of my Halloween spooky reads recommendations, which will come out on Halloween itself, but I wanted to do this one a couple of weeks before just to get some excitement going and just to feel really good about this kind of season, so I'm very excited about it. So there basically are, I believe, 10 questions. Each song has a question that goes with it, and then I will probably tag some people at the end, I imagine. I'm really excited to see people do this tag because I love the questions. So let's get started. So question number 1 is thriller. Obviously my favourite of all things, and the question is a book that was an absolute page turner. And for me, I've tried to mention a few that I haven't mentioned lots before, so I wanted to talk about I Hunt Killers by Barry Liger, which is a first book in a series. I've not continued the series, but I have read the first one and I enjoyed it. It basically follows a boy named Jasper, I think is his name. I can't actually remember now, which is great, of course. It follows a boy whose dad is a serial killer and whose dad is in prison, and then while his dad's in prison now, he is certain things, murders are happening in the area where they live, or he lived, and it seems like possibly it's someone who's doing similar murders, and Jasper is really worried that he is going to become a serial killer like his dad, and he's also really worried because he's worried that it's like a compulsion and it's going to happen. So it's really interesting. It's a really great book. I love the whole like nature versus nurture idea in this book, and yeah, I just found the whole book was really fast paced. It carried on going. The only thing I will say is it doesn't really end very well because it says it's the second one. So I read the whole book in the hope that you'd find out who did it at the end, and you don't. That's just a little warning to yourself because you need to read the next one to find out. So yes, but I would say it's a very fast page turner, and you get to the end and if I'm honest you go, oh okay, need to read the next one now. So just be aware of that going in. Question number 2 is Somebody's Watching Me, a book that gave you the serious creeps. And I wanted to find a book for this that I didn't, because there's not really any books, I don't really find myself not liking books because they're really creepy. I love that. So I was like, okay, I need to find a book that I really liked but was really creepy. And so I went with Just What Kind of Mother Are You by Paula Daly. This is a book about a young girl that goes missing. Basically she's supposed to go for a sleepover at the main character's house, and the main character basically forgets that she's supposed to pick her up from school, and it's her daughter's friend, and then obviously she realizes that didn't happen, and the mother of the daughter thinks that she's with her, and it's that whole kind of thing. And it's a great read, very creepy. The ending again has the creepy vibes, so yeah, really enjoyed the book. Very creepy though. Question number 3 is Vampire, a book you hated so much it was soul-sucking, i.e. incredibly tedious to get through. And unfortunately for this one I have to go with Life of Pi by Jan Martel. This is also a movie, by the way, that I really didn't like, so it's definitely the story, not like the writing or anything. The writing is beautiful, but I didn't enjoy it because I didn't like the story. This basically follows a boy from India who ends up, there's some kind of like ship, he's on a ship with his family's zoo, and basically the ship crashes and he ends up on a lifeboat with like a lion and a hippo and some other kind of animals, hyenas and stuff, and it's about that. I didn't like this at all, and it sounds like it should be really fascinating, but it's really not. I was really bored throughout, and to be honest, it's not even that long of a book, I don't think, but I just didn't find it interesting, and yeah, I was wanting it to be over. We then, when me and my boyfriend at the time, fiance now, were on holiday, we watched the movie, and I hated that too, so it's just a thing, I think. Question number 4 is I Put a Spell on You, which is one of my favourite songs of all time, and that is a book featuring witchcraft or magic. And again, this is one of my favourite books, and I've picked A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray. I really need to carry on the Gemma Doyle series. I loved this one. This follows a girl named Gemma Doyle who ends up, she's spent her childhood living in India, and her mum ends up committing suicide, and so she gets shipped off to London to a boarding school, and an Indian man seems to have followed her, but she has these kind of magical abilities, and she's able to like go into this other world where she basically can still see her mum, and there's lots of other things that happen. It's a really, really interesting book. I absolutely love it, and yeah, I really want to continue on with the series. I know the next ones are really big though, so that has put me off a bit, but I'm definitely looking forward to, I'm keeping my eye out in charity shops and stuff to see if I can find it, because I do definitely really want to read this. Question number 5 is this Halloween, and this is your favourite treat or snack to eat while reading, and for me it's always going to be Jaffa cakes. I go through phases, and I don't care if Jaffa cakes are biscuits or cakes, by the way. I mean, I feel like it's a cake, it says in the name, but irrelevant to that. Jaffa cakes for me just have something about them. I love the like thing inside, and they are just Halloween treats for me. Like I don't massively eat them throughout the year, but I definitely love to eat them on Halloween. I think it's the orange. Orange does it. Orange is definitely a theme of Halloween for me, and I love it. Question number 6, time warp. I'm reading these off the computer, by the way. Let's do the time warp again. What book or books do you like to return to at this time of year? And so I'm really talking about an author that I go back to this time of year, because there are so many books by her that I'm quite happy to just read any different ones. But I'm talking about Patricia Cornwell. This is actually one I haven't read yet, and I don't actually know if I'm going to read any Patricia Cornwell this year at this time anyway, because I don't have any on my immediate list to read. But I do love Patricia Cornwell. Patricia Cornwell writes the Kay Scarpetta series, which is specifically what I'm really talking about. And basically it's about Kay Scarpetta, who is the chief medical examiner of Virginia, and she essentially works in a mortuary, and obviously different murders and things happen in the different books. I really love these. This one is like book number 12 or something. I honestly have no idea, but I'm really looking forward to picking this one up when I get to it, because I am starting the series from like the beginning, working my way through. So yeah, I look forward to reading more of Patricia Cornwell, but I especially love to read her at Halloween time. Question number 7 is Hungry Like the Wolf, a book you loved so much you devoured, and for this one I'm going with Educated by Tara Westover, which I read earlier on this year. This is a memoir that follows Tara Westover's life, where her family are basically, she lives in a sort of end of days family where they don't believe in the government, and they are very much off the grid. None of the children were born in hospitals, they've never been registered, and it's about her wanting or fighting to get an education basically, and she wants to study, and it's about her journey to Cambridge, and it's just wonderful. I really enjoy it. It's really hard to read because she definitely has a very volatile relationship with her family. Some of them are very violent, but I did read through this book like it was going out of fashion because I was just so wanting to read it. Question number 8 is The Addams Family, a book featuring a dysfunctional family. And for this one I'm going to pick Meddling Kids by Edgar Cantero. Although they're not specifically a family, I think that the group of them is very dysfunctional. This book, I didn't like this book very much, if I'm totally honest, but I wanted to talk about it here anyway. This is a Scooby-Doo-esque story where they gender swapped it and whatever, but basically it follows four kids and their dog as they try and solve mystery, and they go back to a mystery that they solved when they were children 13 years before, and they figure it out from there basically. And it's a really, really interesting premise, and it has the horror elements, but I think for me it just wasn't very successful in the writing. But I do know that some people have enjoyed it, so it's perhaps one that you should give a go and see if you are one of the people that likes or dislikes it. I didn't like the writing style, but I think the story was an interesting premise. It just wasn't executed very well in my opinion. Question number 9 is Scary Monsters and Super Creeps, a book genre that you are scared or intimidated to pick up. And for me I have two. The first is literary fiction and the second is high fantasy. I've definitely got into both of those a bit more this year, but they are definitely ones that I am massively I have to really want to read a certain book to pick it up. There are some books that I've tried to read in those genres that I've definitely DNF'd and put down because they're just not for me. I'm currently actually reading while I'm filming this, not while I'm filming it because that would be very good multitasking, while at the time of reading this, I am in the middle of reading a couple of high fantasy books actually, which is quite interesting, and I'm definitely enjoying giving something else a go. But yeah, it's definitely something I'm a bit more intimidated by. And question number 10 is The Twilight Zone, a book with a completely different and unique premise. And the one I wanted to go with is not something that's different in terms of, like, everybody probably knows this book now, but I think at the time it was written, I think the premise of this was really, really different, and that is The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. I feel like it's obviously a fantasy book. It follows so many different characters and there's so much in it that I feel like it's quite unique for a middle grade to have been written in such an extensive way at the time it was written. I love The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. I think C.S. Lewis' Narnia series is amazing and it's some of my favourite writing I've ever read. But yeah, I definitely would say if you haven't read this series before, you definitely should, because it's wonderful. Then we're going to get on to the people that I tag in this video. So I'm going to tag Cody from the channel Cody's Book Corner, Paul from the channel Paul Reads Books, and Whitney from the channel Witty Novels. I'm not sure Witty Novels is ever going to watch this video, but I'm going to tag her anyway, because who knows. And I'm also going to do a video shout out, and I'm going to tag the person I'm shouting out as well. I'm going to shout out Alexa from the channel Alexa Loves Books. Alexa has a channel that I've watched for a really long time. She actually initially I think started doing them by herself, but when I first started watching her, she was making videos with her husband Mackie, and the two of them make some of the best videos. They make really long videos too, so if you like a video to kind of like put on while you, I don't know, eating your dinner or something, and you can sit and watch it and enjoy it, it's like having TV episodes. It's great. And the two of them read such interesting different, like they both read very different things, but it's just wonderful. If you like middle grade, they talk a lot about middle grade on the channel, a lot of fantasy about on there. Yeah, generally just wonderful, and I love both of them so much, so I would love them to do this video as well. So give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you next time for another video. Thanks, Nicole. Bye.